Let me tell you about Amaka and her husband Chike. They had been married for 4 years. And in those 4 years, Amaka had learned one very important thing about her husband. The man was stingy, not just careful with money. Not just frugal, stingy. The kind of stingy that would make you want to scream. Every morning, Amaka would ask for money to buy food for the house. And every morning, Chike would act like she was asking him to donate a kidney. Amaka, why do you need 3,000 naira for soup? Can't you make it with 2,000? But Chike, fish is expensive now, tomatoes have gone up. I need at least 2,000. That's what I have. Manage it. Manage it. That was his favorite phrase. Manage it. When Amaka asked for money to buy new clothes because her old ones were worn out, he would say, "But you have clothes. Why do you need new ones? Manage what you have." When the freezer broke down and all their meat spoiled, Amaka begged him to buy a new one. "Chike, we're losing money buying ice blocks every day. A small freezer costs 50,000 naira. We can save money in the long run." 50,000? Are you mad? We don't have that kind of money. Use a cooler with ice. Manage it. Even their mattress, the mattress they slept on every night, was so old and sunken that Amaka woke up every morning with back pain. When she complained, Chike would say, "What's wrong with the mattress? It's still working. You just want to waste money." Manage it. Amaka managed. She always managed. Because what choice did she have? Chike worked as an accountant at a medium-sized company. His salary wasn't huge, but it was decent, about 180,000 naira a month. Enough for a small family to live comfortably if managed well. But they never had money. Never. The rent was always a struggle. The electricity bill was always paid late. Amaka couldn't remember the last time she bought something for herself without feeling guilty. And the frustrating part? Chike didn't spend money on anything visible. He didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't gamble, didn't have a side chick, at least. Amaka didn't think so. He just hoarded money, refused to spend it on anything he deemed unnecessary, which was everything. Amaka, turn off that light. Do you want any PA to finish our money? Amaka, why is the generator on? It's not even that dark. Amaka, you're using too much gas for cooking. Can't you cook faster? It was exhausting, soul-crushing. Amaka felt like she was living with a miser from a Dickens novel. Her friends would complain about their husbands spending money on beer, on betting, on other women. And Amaka would think, at least those women know where the money is going. At least they can see it being wasted. But Chike's money? It just disappeared into thin air. He earned, but they never seemed to have anything. One evening, after Chike had refused to give her money to buy bread, 500 naira for bread? Are you serious? We have gari in the house. Make gari and groundnut. It's more filling anyway. Amaka sat in their small sitting room and cried. 4 years. 4 years of managing. 4 years of making do. 4 years of feeling poor even though her husband had a steady job. She loved Chike. She really did. He was a good man in other ways. He didn't beat her. He didn't disrespect her. He helped with chores sometimes. He was faithful. But this poverty, this artificial, self-imposed poverty, it was killing her spirit. The next day, something happened that would change everything. It was a Saturday morning. Chike had gone to his hometown for a family meeting. Some land dispute that required all the sons to be present. He would be gone all day, maybe even overnight. Amaka decided to do a thorough cleaning of the house. She swept, mopped, scrubbed the bathroom, washed the curtains. Then she decided to tackle the bedroom. Their mattress was old, ancient really. Probably older than their marriage. It sagged in the middle where they slept, and the edges were fraying. Amaka had begged Chike countless times to buy a new one, but he always refused. Manage it. As Amaka was cleaning around the bed, she noticed that the mattress had shifted slightly. One corner was raised, revealing a gap between the mattress and the bed frame. She bent down to push it back into place, and that's when she saw it. A corner of something. Paper sticking out from under the mattress. Curious, Amaka lifted the mattress higher. And her heart stopped. Money! Bundles of money! Stacks of crisp Panera notes, held together with rubber bands. packed tightly under the mattress, hidden in the space between the mattress and the bed frame. Amaka's hands trembled as she pulled out the bundles. 1, 2, 5, 10, 20. She sat on the floor and started counting. 1,000 naira notes, all of them. Bundle after bundle after bundle. By the time she finished counting, Amaka's whole body was shaking. 2 million naira. 2 million naira hidden under their mattress. 2 million naira. And this same man who had refused to give her 500 naira for bread yesterday had 2 million naira sleeping under his body every night. Amaka felt like she couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. She counted again, thinking maybe she had made a mistake. Maybe she had counted wrong. No. 2 million naira, exactly. She sat there on the bedroom floor, surrounded by money, and laughed. A bitter, hysterical laugh that turned into sobs. All those times she had begged for money. All those times he had said they didn't have it. All those times she had gone without, had made sacrifices, had managed and managed and managed. And he had 2 million naira under the mattress. Amaka's grief turned to anger. White-hot, blazing anger. How dare he? How dare he let her suffer while he was sleeping on a fortune? She wanted to pack the money and leave. Right then. Just take it all and disappear. But she forced herself to calm down. To think, if she took the money and ran, Chaik would call the police, would accuse her of theft, would make her life hell. No, she needed to be smart about this. Amaka carefully put the money back exactly as she had found it. Then she put the mattress back in place. She finished cleaning the room like nothing had happened. But inside she was planning. She wasn't going to let this go. She wasn't going to pretend she didn't know. She was going to confront him. And she was going to get answers. Chai came home Sunday evening, tired from his trip. He greeted Amaka, ate the food she had prepared, and was about to settle in front of the TV when Amaka spoke. Chaik, we need to talk. Something in her tone made him look up. Talk about what? Money, Chaik sighed. Amaka, not this again. I told you we don't have... Don't. Amaka's voice was ice. Don't you dare finish that sentence. Chaik frowned. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Amaka laughed, but there was no humor in it. What's wrong with me is that I've been married to a liar for 4 years. Amaka, what are you talking about? I found it, Chaik. I found the money. Chaik's face went pale. What money? The 2 million naira under our mattress. The 2 million naira you've been hiding while telling me we're poor. The 2 million naira you've been sleeping on while I beg you for money to buy bread. The color drained completely from Chaik's face. For a long moment he just stared at her. Then he stood up. You went through my things? Your things? Your things? Amaka's voice rose. That mattress is our mattress. That room is our room. This marriage is supposed to be, oh, you are marriage. But you've been hiding money like I'm your enemy. It's my money. I earned it. And I'm your wife. I cook your food. I clean your house. I wash your clothes. I sleep beside you every night. And you let me beg you for 500 naira for bread while you're sitting on 2 million naira? Chaik's jaw tightened. You don't understand. Then make me understand. Where did you get that money? Why are you hiding it? Why have you been lying to me for God knows how long? I wasn't lying. Yes, you were. Every time I asked for money and you said you didn't have it, you were lying. Every time you told me to manage, you were lying. Every time you acted like we were barely surviving, you were lying. Chaik sat back down heavily. He put his head in his hands. You don't understand what it's like. You don't understand the pressure. What pressure? The pressure of being married to me. The pressure of having to support your family. The pressure of having money disappear. Chaik's head snapped up, his eyes angry now. Do you know what happens when people know you have money? They bleed you dry. Family, friends, neighbors, everyone wants a piece. Chaik, lend me money. Chaik, help me pay my rent. Chaik, my child's school fees. It never ends. Never! So you hide it from everyone? Including your wife? Especially my wife. Chaik stood up again, pacing now. Do you think I don't know how women are? Once you know there's money, you'll spend it. You'll want new things. New clothes, new furniture, new everything. The money will vanish. And then what? Then we'll actually be poor. Amaka stared at her husband like she was seeing him for the first time. You think I'm a threat to your money? You think I'm like those people who want to use you? I didn't say that. Yes, you did. You just said it. You've been treating me like I'm your enemy, not your partner. Do you know how that feels? Do you know what it's like to be denied basic things while your husband is sleeping on millions? It's not just about you, Chaik shouted. I'm saving that money for our future, for emergencies, for when we really need it. We need it now. Our freezer is broken. Our mattress is ancient. I can't even remember the last time I bought a new wrapper. We're suffering now, Chaik, right now. What future are you saving for if we can't even live properly in the present? You don't understand. No, you don't understand. Amaka was crying now, hot tears of rage and betrayal streaming down her face. You don't understand what you've done to me. You've made me feel worthless. You've made me feel like a burden. Like asking for money to feed us is some kind of crime. Do you know how many times I've cried myself to sleep because I felt like such a failure? Because I couldn't make your little money stretch far enough? Chaik's face softened slightly. Amaka, and all along, you had 2 million naira. 2 million. We could have been comfortable. We could have fixed things. We could have lived like normal people. But instead, you chose to hoard your money and let me suffer. I wasn't trying to make you suffer. But you did. You did, Chaik. And I don't know if I can forgive that. The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. Chaik and Amaka stood in their small sitting room, the TV still playing in the background, and the distance between them felt like an ocean. Finally, Chaik spoke, his voice quiet. The money. I've been saving it for 5 years. Since before we got married. I have a plan. What plan? I want to build a house. Back in the village. A proper house. So we'll always have somewhere to go. Somewhere that's ours. I've been saving every kobo I can, adding to it little by little. I'm almost at my target. Just a few more months and I'll have enough to start building. Amaka shook her head in disbelief. So you were going to spring this on me one day? Just surprise me with your secret plan? I wanted it to be a surprise. A good surprise. By making me live like a pauper in the meantime? That's not a surprise, Chaik. That's torture. Chaik's shoulders slumped. I didn't think of it that way. I was focused on the goal. On making sure we had something permanent. Something no one could take from us. At what cost? Our marriage? My sanity? My dignity? My dignity? My dignity? My dignity? My cost? Our marriage? My dignity? My dignity? My dignity? My dignity? They stood there. Two people who loved each other but had been living in completely different realities. One person hoarding for a future that might never come. The other suffering in a present that was unbearable. I need time, Amaka said finally. I need time to think about this. About us. About whether I can stay in a marriage where my husband doesn't trust me with the truth. Amaka, please, no. I'm going to my sister's house. I'll be back in a few days. We both need to think about what we really want from this marriage. She went to the bedroom, packed a small bag, and left. Chaik stood alone in the house, surrounded by his savings and his secrets, and for the first time in 5 years, he wondered if he had made a terrible mistake. Amaka's sister Ogechi lived across town in a small but comfortable flat. When Amaka showed up at her door with a bag and tears streaming down her face, Ogechi didn't ask questions. She just pulled her sister inside, made her tea, and waited. Eventually, Amaka told her everything. About the years of poverty. About Chaik's stinginess. About the 2 million naira under the mattress. About the fight. Ogechi listened quietly, her face grave. When Amaka finished, Ogechi let out a long breath. Wow, 2 million naira. And he's been acting like you people are begging for food on the streets, right? I feel like I've been married to a stranger, Ogechi. How could he do this to me? Ogechi was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, did he say why he was saving the money? Some nonsense about building a house in the village. Like that excuses everything. Is it nonsense though? Amaka looked at her sister in shock. Whose side are you on? I'm on the side of understanding the full picture. Ogechi sat forward. Amaka, what Chike did was wrong. Very wrong. He should never have hidden money from you. He should never have let you suffer while he had resources. That's not how marriage works, but what? But I also understand where men like Chike come from. What's his background? Amaka thought about it. He grew up poor, very poor. His father died when he was young. His mother struggled to feed 6 children. He told me he used to go to school hungry, used to wear torn uniforms because they couldn't afford new ones. Exactly. And now he has an accountant job, regular salary, and for the first time in his life he has money, real money. Do you know what that does to someone who grew up with nothing? It makes them stingy and horrible. It makes them terrified. Terrified of losing it. Terrified of going back to that poverty. So they hoard. They save obsessively. They can't enjoy what they have because they're always preparing for the worst. Amaka wiped her eyes. But I'm his wife, not his enemy. I know. And that's what he doesn't understand. He's treating you like you're part of the threat instead of part of the team. Ogechi paused. But here's my question. If he had told you about the money from the beginning, what would you have done? I don't know. I guess I would have wanted to use some of it. Fix things. Live better. Exactly. And that's what he was afraid of. He was afraid that if you knew about the money, it would disappear. Not because you're wasteful, but because there are always needs, always expenses. And his dream of building that house would keep getting delayed and delayed until it never happened. So what? I'm supposed to suffer so he can achieve his dream? No, that's not what I'm saying. Ogechi took her sister's hand. What I'm saying is that both of you have valid points. You deserve to know about the money. You deserve to be treated like a partner in your marriage. But he also deserves to have dreams and goals, even financial ones. The problem is that you two never talked about it. He kept secrets. You suffered in silence. And now you're both hurt and angry. Amaka slumped back in her chair. So what do I do? You decide what you really want. Do you want to leave him? Is this betrayal too big to forgive? Or do you want to find a way forward? I don't know. Then think about it. Really think about it. Not when you're angry, not when you're hurt. Think about your whole marriage. Is Chike a bad man? Or is he a damaged man who made bad choices out of fear? Amaka stayed with her sister for 3 days. During that time, Chike called her multiple times. She didn't answer at first, but eventually she picked up. Amaka, please come home. We need to talk properly. I'm not ready. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what I was doing to you. You should have realized, Chike. I'm your wife. I know, please just come home. Let's talk about this. Let's figure it out together. On the 4th day, Amaka went home. Not because she had forgiven him, but because she wanted answers. Real answers. When Amaka walked into the house, she found Chike sitting at the dining table with papers spread out in front of him. Bank statements, receipts, a notebook filled with calculations. What's all this? Amaka asked. The truth. The full truth. I want to show you everything. Amaka sat down across from him. Her arms were crossed, her face guarded. I'm listening. Chike took a deep breath. The 2 million naira. That's not all of it. Namaka's eyes widened. What? I have more. In different places. I have 800,000 in a fixed deposit account. I have 1.5 million in a cooperative savings. And I have another million with my brother who is investing it in his business. In total, I've saved about 5.3 million naira over the past 5 years. Amaka felt like she'd been punched in the stomach. 5 million? Yes, we've been living like beggars and you have over 5 million naira? I know how it sounds. No, you don't. You clearly don't. Amaka stood up, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. This is insane, Chike. This is actually insane. Let me explain. Explain what? How you've been hoarding millions while I've been washing the same 3 wrappers for 4 years. How you've been telling me we can't afford a new mattress while you're sitting on enough money to buy 10 mattresses. I was trying to build us a future. We don't have a future if I leave you. And right now, that's exactly what I want to do. Chaik's face crumpled. Please don't. Please, Amaka. Just listen to the whole story. Then if you still want to leave, I won't stop you. But please, just listen. Amaka sat back down, but she was trembling with rage. Chaik pulled out the notebook and pushed it toward her. Look at this. This is my plan. Amaka looked down at the pages. They were filled with detailed calculations. Land cost, building materials, labor, furniture, everything itemized, calculated down to the last naira. I need 6 million naira to build the house I want, Chaik explained. A proper 4-bedroom house with modern amenities, good foundation, quality materials. Something that will last. Something that will be ours forever. I've been saving for 5 years. Every month I put away as much as I can. I cut every corner. I denied myself everything. I denied you everything. And I'm almost there. Just 7 more months and I'll have the full 6 million. And then what? Amaka asked bitterly. You were just going to announce one day, surprise, I built us a house? I was going to tell you when I started building. I wanted to surprise you with the land first. I already bought it, 2 plots in my village, I have the papers. I was going to take you there, show you the land, and then start building. Amaka looked at the papers in front of her, at the detailed plans, at the evidence of years of secret plotting. Why couldn't you just tell me from the beginning? Why did you have to hide it? Because everyone I've ever told about my plans has tried to stop me or use the money for something else. My mother wanted me to use it to pay for my sister's wedding. My brother wanted me to invest in his first business, which failed, by the way. Friends wanted loans. Neighbors wanted help. And I thought if you knew, you would want to use it too. Not for bad reasons, but for reasonable things. A new fridge, a better mattress, nice clothes. Little luxuries that seem small but add up. And before I knew it, the 6 million would turn into 3 million, then 2 million, and my dream would keep slipping away. So you chose your dream over my happiness. I chose our future over our present. That's the same thing, Chaik. Our present is our life. These 4 years that I've suffered, I can't get them back. You stole them from me with your secrets and your lies. I know. Chaik's voice broke. I know I did, and I hate myself for it. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was building something great for us. But all I did was hurt the person I love most in the world. Tears were streaming down his face now. Real, genuine tears. I'm sorry, Amaka. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was selfish. I was so focused on the goal that I forgot about the journey. I forgot that marriage is supposed to be a partnership. That we're supposed to make decisions together. That your happiness matters just as much as my dreams. Amaka felt her own tears coming, but she blinked them back. I don't know if sorry's enough, Chaik. I know, but I want to make it right. I want to show you that I can change. He pulled out one of the bank statements. This is the fixed deposit. 800,000 naira. I want to break it, use it to make our life better now. Buy everything we need. The freezer. The mattress. New clothes for you. Whatever you want. I don't want your money, Chaik. It's not my money. It's our money. That's what I should have understood from the beginning. Everything I earn, everything I save. It's ours. Not mine. Amaka stared at her husband. At this man she had loved and married. This man who had hurt her so deeply, but who was now offering what seemed like genuine remorse. I need you to understand something, Amaka said slowly. This isn't just about the money. It's about trust. You didn't trust me enough to share your dreams with me. You didn't trust me enough to let me be part of your plans. You treated me like an obstacle instead of a partner. You're right. And that hurts more than the poverty. More than the sacrifice. You made me feel like I didn't matter. You matter more than anything. More than any house. More than any amount of money. Chaik reached across the table and took her hands. I was a fool. A complete fool. And if you give me a chance, I promise I'll spend the rest of our marriage proving that I understand that now. Amaka looked down at their joined hands. She thought about Oguchi's words. About damaged men making bad choices out of fear. About whether this was forgivable. I need you to do something for me, Amaka said. Anything. I need you to break that fixed deposit like you said. And I need you to give me control of it. Chaik hesitated for just a second, and Amaka saw it. Saw the flash of fear in his eyes. The instinct to protect his money. You see? Amaka pulled her hands away. You still don't trust me. No, I do. I do trust you, Chaik said quickly. I'm sorry, that was just old habits. Yes, I'll give you control of it. All of it. You decide how we spend it, not how I spend it. How we spend it. Together. That's what marriage is supposed to be. Together. Yes, absolutely. Amaka stood up. I'm not saying I forgive you yet, Chaik. I'm not saying everything is okay, but I'm willing to try. I'm willing to see if we can rebuild this marriage on a foundation of honesty instead of secrets. Chaik stood too, hope written all over his face. Thank you. Thank you, Amaka. I won't let you down again. You better not. Because if you do, I'm taking half of that 5.3 million and leaving your stingy behind forever. Despite everything, Chaik laughed. It was a small laugh, uncertain, but it was something. Fair enough. Over the next 2 weeks, things began to change in the household. Chaik broke the fixed deposit as promised. Together, they sat down and made a list of everything they needed. A new freezer, 65,000 naira. A new mattress, 80,000 naira. Repairs to the house, 40,000 naira. New clothes for both of them, 50,000 naira. Kitchen supplies, 30,000 naira. For the first time in their marriage, they shopped together. Amaka picked out a beautiful new mattress, firm but comfortable, with a quilted top. She chose a large freezer that would actually keep their food fresh. She bought herself 4 new wrappers and 2 new dresses without feeling guilty. And Chaik, for his part, didn't complain. Not once. He even suggested they buy a few extra things. What about a microwave? You've always wanted one. Amaka stared at him. Who are you and what have you done with my husband? Chaik smiled sheepishly. I'm trying to be better. Let me try. The new mattress was delivered on a Wednesday. That night, they slept on it together, and Amaka had to admit, it felt like sleeping on a cloud compared to the old one. This is nice, she said. It really is, Chaik agreed. Then, quietly, I'm sorry we didn't get this years ago. I know. Things weren't perfect. Amaka still felt flashes of anger when she thought about those 4 years. Still felt the sting of betrayal when she remembered all the times she had begged for money while Chaik had millions hidden away. But she could see that Chaik was trying. Really trying. He had opened a joint account and transferred some of the savings into it. He showed her his investment statements. He involved her in discussions about the house plans. I was thinking, Chaik said one evening, maybe we should scale back the house a bit. Make it 3 bedrooms instead of 4. Use the money we saved to make our life better now. Amaka looked at him in surprise. You would do that? The house is supposed to be for our future. But you're right, we need to live in the present too. We need balance. It was a small concession, but it meant the world to Amaka. It meant he was finally listening. Finally understanding. 1 month after the confrontation, they sat down to review their finances together. Chaik showed Amaka everything. Every account, every investment, every naira. So here's where we are, Chaik said, pointing at his notebook. We've spent about 400,000 from the fixed deposit on the things we needed. We still have 4.9 million in total savings. If we keep saving at our current rate, we can start building the house in 8 months instead of 7. And you're okay with that? The delay? More than okay, because now we're building it together. As a team. Like we should have been doing all along. Amaka smiled. It was the first real smile she'd given him in weeks. But that's when things took an unexpected turn. It was a Saturday morning when Chaik's mother showed up unannounced. Mama Chaik was a formidable woman. Tall, loud, with a presence that filled any room she entered. She had never particularly liked Amaka, thought her son had married beneath himself, though she never said it outright. Chaik, my son? She announced as she walked into the house without knocking. I need to talk to you. Alone. Amaka, who was in the kitchen, felt her stomach tighten. She had a bad feeling about this. Mama, whatever you want to say, you can say it in front of my wife, Chaik said firmly. Mama Chaik's lips thinned. Fine. I'll say it. Your brother Amika has gotten into trouble. He owes some people money. Serious money. If he doesn't pay by next week, they're threatening to hurt him. Chaik's face went pale. How much does he owe? 2 million naira. The room went silent. Amaka felt her blood run cold. 2 million naira. The exact amount that had been under the mattress. Mama, I don't have that kind of money, Chaik said carefully. Don't lie to me. Mama Chaik's voice rose. I know you've been saving. I know you have money. Your brother's life is in danger and you're going to tell me you can't help him? I have savings, but it's for building our house. It's taken me 5 years. Your brother will be dead in 1 week. What is more important, a house or your brother's life? Amaka watched this exchange, her heart sinking. She saw Chaik's face, the conflict, the guilt, the old instinct to give in to his mother's demands. This was it. This was what he had been afraid of. This was why he had hidden the money. Mama, Amaka spoke up, her voice steady. Maybe Amaka should go to the police, if people are threatening him. The police? Mama Chaik laughed harshly. You think the police will help? These are not people you go to the police about. These are dangerous people. My son's life is in danger and you're talking about police? Then maybe Amika should explain how he got into this mess in the first place, Amaka continued. This isn't the first time, is it? Last year he needed money for a business that failed. 2 years before that, it was hospital bills that turned out to be fake. Amaka is always in trouble, always needing money, and it never ends. How dare you speak about my son like that? He's your son, but Chaik is your son too. And we have plans for our money. Plans we've made together. Mama Chaik turned to Chaik. Are you going to let your wife disrespect your brother like this? Are you going to let your brother die while you build a house? Chaik looked at his mother, then at his wife, then back at his mother. Amaka held her breath. This was the moment. This was the test. Mama, Chaik said slowly. I love Amika. He's my brother. But Amaka is right. This is not the first time. Every time Amika gets in trouble, the family bails him out. And every time he promises to change. But he never does. He just gets into more trouble. I will help my brother. But not by giving him 2 million naira. I'll give him 200,000 naira. He can use it to negotiate with these people, to buy time, to figure something out. But I'm not giving him everything I've worked for. Not again. 200,000. That's nothing. They'll kill him. Then he needs to go to the police. Or he needs to run. Or he needs to face the consequences of his choices. But I'm not sacrificing my family's future for his mistakes. Mama Chaik's face twisted with fury. You've changed. That wife of yours has poisoned your mind against your family. Before you married her, you were a good son. Now look at you, turning your back on your own brother. I'm not turning my back. I'm setting boundaries. There's a difference. If Amika dies, his blood will be on your hands. Mama Chaik headed for the door. Don't come crying to me when your brother's body is found in a ditch. She slammed the door so hard the windows rattled. Chaik stood there trembling. Amaka went to him and took his hand. You did the right thing, she said softly. Did I? What if she's right? What if something happens to Amika? Then that's on Amika and the choices he made. Not on you. Chaik sat down heavily. You don't understand. My whole life, I've been the responsible one. The one who takes care of everyone. The one who fixes problems. Saying no to my family, it feels like betrayal. You're not betraying them. You're choosing to build your own life. There's nothing wrong with that. But what if... No what ifs. Amaka sat beside him. You made a decision. You set a boundary. Now you stick to it. Over the next week, Mama Chaik called multiple times. Sometimes crying. Sometimes angry. Sometimes guilt-tripping. Your brother is suffering. Your brother is scared. Your brother needs you. Each time Chaik offered the 200,000 naira. Each time his mother said it wasn't enough. Then, a week later, Emeka himself called. Brother, please, I'm begging you. I need the money. They're serious. They're going to hurt me. What did you do, Emeka? What did you do to owe 2 million naira? A pause. Then, I borrowed it for a business deal. But the deal fell through. Now they want their money back with interest. You gambled with loan sharks' money? It wasn't supposed to be gambling. It was supposed to be a sure thing. There's no such thing as a sure thing. You should have known better. Please, brother. I'm your blood. You can't let them kill me. Chaik closed his eyes. I'll give you 200,000 naira. Use it to negotiate, to buy time. But that's all I can do. That's not enough. Then you better start running. Chaik hung up. His hands were shaking. I feel like a terrible person, he told Amaka that night. Like I'm abandoning my family. You're not abandoning them. You're teaching them that you're not a bottomless well they can draw from forever. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people face the consequences of their actions. 2 weeks later, they got news. Emeka hadn't been killed. He had fled to another state and was living with a cousin there. The loan sharks had written off the debt as a loss. Mama Chaik was furious that her son was now in hiding, but at least he was alive. And Chaik learned a valuable lesson. Setting boundaries didn't make you selfish. It made you sane. 3 months after the confrontation with his mother, Chaik and Amaka were shopping at the market when they ran into an old friend of Chaik's, Kunal, who he'd worked with at his first job after university. Chaik, my guy, long time. Kunal shook his hand enthusiastically. How far? How's married life treating you? It's good, man, really good. This is my wife, Amaka. Pleasure to meet you. Kunal smiled at Amaka, then turned back to Chaik. Guy, remember that investment scheme we talked about like 5 years ago? The one you were so paranoid about? Chaik's face went strange. Yeah? Man, I'm so glad you didn't put your money in it. The whole thing collapsed last year. Total scam. People lost millions. I lost 800,000 myself. Amaka saw Chaik's face go pale. After Kunal left, Amaka asked, what was he talking about? Chaik was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, when I first started saving about 5 years ago, Kunal and some other friends were investing in this scheme. They said it was giving 50% returns in 6 months. They pressured me to join. Said I was being paranoid and foolish for keeping my money in the bank. I almost did it. I almost put everything in. But something felt wrong about it. Too good to be true. So I kept my money out. Told them I didn't have anything to invest. They would have taken everything, Amaka said slowly. Everything. All 5 million. Gone. They stood there in the market, the noise and chaos swirling around them, and Amaka felt something shift in her understanding. Chaik's paranoia, his secrecy, his obsessive saving, it hadn't just been about building a house. It had been about protecting himself, about making sure he never lost what he had worked so hard to build. It didn't excuse what he had done to her, didn't excuse the years of unnecessary poverty, but it helped her understand. Chaik, Amaka said softly, you've been living in fear. I know. Fear of losing money. Fear of being used. Fear of trusting anyone, even me. I know. But you can't live like that forever. That's not a life. That's just existing. Chaik nodded. I'm trying to change. With you. I'm trying to learn what it means to trust, to share, to be partners instead of adversaries. I know you are, and I see it. I see you trying. They finished their shopping in comfortable silence, and that night they sat down and talked, really talked. About fear and trust, about trauma and healing, about building a future together instead of Chaik building one alone. I want to show you something, Chaik said. He pulled out the land papers for the village property. This is where I bought the land. 2 plots. I was thinking we could go there next weekend. Look at it together. You can tell me what you think about the house plans. Amaka took the papers and looked at them. At the careful plans. At the dream her husband had been nursing for 5 years in secret. I'd like that, she said. Really? Really. It's your dream. But if I'm going to be part of it, I need to see it. Need to understand it. The following Saturday, they traveled to the village. Chaik's mother was not happy to see them. She was still angry about the Amika situation, but she was civil. Chaik took Amaka to the land. 2 large plots on a hillside with a beautiful view of the surrounding farmland. This is it, Chaik said, and his voice was filled with such hope and pride that Amaka felt her heart squeeze. "It's beautiful," she said, and she meant it. They walked the perimeter, Chaik pointing out where each room would be, where the kitchen would face to catch the morning light, where they could plant a garden. "I've been thinking," Chaik said as they stood in the center of what would be the living room. "Maybe we don't build it all at once. Maybe we build it in phases. That way we can enjoy our present while still working toward the future." "I like that idea, and I want you to have input on everything. The design, the colors, the layout. This is our house." "Not just mine," Amaka smiled. "Our house." "I like the sound of that." They stood there on the empty land, holding hands, looking at a future they would build together. It wasn't perfect. There was still hurt to heal from, still trust to rebuild. But they were trying. Both of them. And sometimes trying is enough. Epilogue. 1 year later, 1 year after Amaka found the money under the mattress, things were different. They had used some of the savings to start building the house, just the foundation and structure so far. The rest would come in phases as Chaik had promised. They had bought proper furniture for their city apartment. Amaka had opened a small online business selling clothes, funded by part of the savings. Chaik had learned to loosen his grip on money, to enjoy life in the present while still planning for the future. Most importantly, they had learned to talk, really talk, about money, about fears, about dreams, about everything. One evening, as they sat on their new comfortable sofa, which Chaik had bought without complaining about the price, watching TV together, Amaka said, "Do you know what I realized?" "What?" "That day I found the money. If I had found it a year earlier, I probably would have left you." "Would you?" "Yes, I was so hurt, so angry. But finding it when I did, after all those years together, it gave me time to think, to understand, to decide that our marriage was worth fighting for." Chaik took her hand. "I'm glad you fought. I'm glad you gave me a chance to be better. I'm glad too. Though I have to say," Chaik added with a small smile, "you're spending money now like you're making up for lost time." "Oh, you don't know the half of it," Amaka laughed. "Wait until you see what I ordered online yesterday. Should I be worried?" "Very worried. It's a new mattress for the village house. But we haven't even finished building the house." "I know. But I want to be ready. I want to have everything planned out. You know, I'm thinking 6 million might not be enough. Maybe we should aim for 8 million. Really make it special." Chaik stared at his wife, and she stared back with a perfectly innocent expression. Then they both burst out laughing. "You're messing with me," Chaik said. "Maybe. Maybe not. You'll never know for sure. That's what you get for keeping secrets." "Fair enough. Fair enough." And in that moment, in their comfortable apartment with their new furniture and their healing marriage and their shared dreams, they were happy. Not perfect, but happy. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. The moral: if you're hiding money from your spouse, millions under the mattress while claiming poverty, ask yourself, are you building a future or destroying a present? If you're living with someone who seems stingy beyond reason, remember, sometimes there's a deeper fear, a deeper wound driving that behavior. Understanding doesn't excuse it, but it might help heal it. And if you ever find yourself married to someone who says they can't buy 500 naira bread while sleeping on 2 million naira, well, you have some serious talking to do. Because a marriage built on secrets is a house built on sand. And eventually, the foundation will crack. Trust me on that.